It can go 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds. At 200 miles an hour. A mean machine, and for some, a time machine. Most Corvette buyers are men in their middle age, feeding the notion that they're somehow seeking their lost youth, what some call a midlife crisis. Are they buying performance? Are they buying the fantasy?
The fantasy.
A fantasy to ward off a special evil. The term midlife crisis was coined in 1965 by the late Canadian psychoanalyst Elliot Jacques, and it started with fear.
They were afraid of aging. They felt that their life was over.
Margie Lockman is a psychologist at Brandeis University in Massachusetts and a lead researcher in an ongoing study on midlife, the most in-depth ever in the United States.
They realized they had not accomplished all their goals and had not been able to realize their dreams, and they thought it was too late, that there was really no more time to do this.
I'm here today to again apologize.
The concept is so widely accepted, it's often blamed for men behaving badly, from Wiener to Schwarzenegger to Clinton.
Actually, my wife and I are separated. Oh. Well, what I mean is separated in the sense that she went away for the summer.
And from the 7-year itch to Moonstruck, it's one of Hollywood's go-to themes.
Why do men chase women?
Nerves?
I think it's because they fear death.
But as it turns out, our assumptions are wrong. Surprisingly, Margie Lockman's research shows that very few men, perhaps only 10 to 12%, have anything approaching a crisis. Your numbers would suggest that the vast majority of people take this in stride.
I would say they do.
85, 90%.
Yeah. We find a lot of things going on in midlife that are very positive. Really the top of their game, in a sense, in the workforce, in their family. So in some ways, I think midlife should be associated more with competence and confidence than a crisis.
Those facts aside, it's the men who are suffering who are driving the discussion. Their fear is real, and that's driving a booming business promising to reverse midlife aging.
How does this 70-year-old doctor have the body of a 30-year-old?
People look at me and they say, "You look amazing from the neck down." And I tell them that no one is more amazed than I am.
Dr. Jeffrey Life runs a clinic in Las Vegas, and he thinks he has the answer: testosterone.
It wasn't testosterone even a few years ago. It was melatonin, then it was DHEA. Back in the 1800s, it was ground up goat testicles. And this goes back hundreds of years with the whole notion of the fountain of youth.
Dr. Thomas Pearls is an expert on aging at the Boston Medical Center. His prescription to reverse a midlife slowdown? Do it the old-fashioned way.
I know so many people who don't call it a midlife crisis. They call it an opportunity.
We're normal. Comparatively normal.
Opportunity is exactly what comedian Ray Romano was looking for at age 47, when he found himself suddenly adrift.
You know, Raymond was 9 years, and before that I was stand-up for 11 years. It was 20 years of this creative outlet that I had, and all of a sudden there was nothing, and I found myself wondering, what the hell am I going to do with the rest of my life? What have I done?
So Romano, along with his friend and producer Mike Royce, decided to explore their own changing lives on television.
Okay, right here. It's not blurry anymore, but now it's too far away that I can't read it. I'm never going to know what it says on a ketchup bottle.
It's ketchup. What are you going to know about it?
They called their current show, co-starring Scott Bakula and Andre Brower, Men of a Certain Age. And yes, that means middle age.
It's really a very exciting time in a way. I kind of liken it to, it's like your second teenagerhood. Your brain is processing a lot of information.
They say the show has helped all of them gain a new perspective.
When I went to get my checkup at age 55, my doctor said, "Well, you're just welcome to the second half of your life." And I'm thinking 110. Wow, that's kind of maybe a real solid reality. I'm thinking, well, that's a lot of time.
Bakula is on to something, say researchers, who suggest contentment, not crisis, is the true reality of midlife for most men. And what's ahead can look pretty good, says psychologist Margie Lockman.
We don't have to assume that you are stuck and that it's just all downhill from here. And in many ways, we can say that those who are in the middle are really, they're in the driver's seat. And I don't necessarily mean in a sports car.
Just remember, whatever you do, it always helps to sprinkle in a little bit of humor.
Midlife doesn't own the crisis mode of life.
Right.
I was having a crisis in my 20s. It's only a midlife crisis because I'm midlife now, that's all.
Yes.
I had a 20s crisis, a 30s crisis.